dive in. So I'm gonna do my usual greetings that I like to say. Hello, hello, beautiful souls.
Beautiful souls, welcome,
Beautiful
welcome.
souls, welcome, welcome, welcome. I really appreciate that you took some time out on your Wednesday, this special, special day, to share some time with me. For those of you who don't know me, I am Paula D'Souza. I've been a makeup artist in like forever moons. I transform lives through what I do, conversation, as well as, using my skill set to make you more beautiful, or connect with your inner beauty, as I would like to say. And there are lots of other things that I like doing too. And if you've been following me for a while, I'm sure that you would know. Hey, Anne Marie. Today I have this amazing, wonderful soul with me. This gentleman who just gave me a shock of my life. If anybody could guess his age, except for his friends, if you're his friend, you can't play this game. So if anybody could guess his age, I'm gonna give you an eyebrow treat.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right. So you have until now, and when we finish the live, try to guess his age. He is absolutely amazing, and so I welcome you to Real Beauty Talk.
It's
I
a
really
pleasure.
appreciate that you came from so far. Oh my God! I mean, it's not far, but
Yeah.
so I really appreciate that you're here. So thank you for coming, and you have a very powerful name. Moses
Indeed, indeed.
Babb. And I think it's called what's the meaning of Moses?
Drawn from the water.
Drawn from
yeah.
the water.
Yeah.
So it has different meanings in different languages, because
Yeah.
I think the Hebrew language, is it leader or something so?
Yeah, I think in Hebrew.
Yeah, deliverer.
Yeah, deliverer, yeah.
Yeah. So deliverer in Hebrew, and in what was the meaning that you gave me just now?
For Musa, that would be Arabic.
The Arabic version, the meaning of the name that you gave. You gave me something that was different just now.
Or drawn from the water.
Drawn from the water,
Mhm.
and that's Arabic.
From my understanding, it's still Hebrew,
Right.
because that's like how Moses was found.
Ah, okay,
So
okay,
he
yeah, yeah,
later
yeah.
he evolved into being the deliverer of the people,
Right,
but he was found in
right.
the river by
Yeah.
the queen.
So it's like you really have to dive into these things and on all these different contexts to
Mhm.
get a this of what it
Of what-
really,
yeah,
of
what
the
it-
essence
of
of
what-
it.
yeah.
But it's Moses is a very powerful name. So for those of us, including myself, because you and I connect on a real interesting level. I
Mhm.
think for me, the connection was the fact that I think I don't remember exactly what the post was about,
Mhm.
but when you responded, I realized that we are kindred spirits.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. And then I also admire the way you write as well.
Mhm.
And so for those of us, I could say us because I still don't know all of you.
Yeah.
I feel you, I connect with you on that level. But for those of us who really don't know you, who is Moses Babb?
Who is Moses?
Yes.
Presently, Moses is the guy who is on a journey, that reconnecting and rediscovering of self, that inner identity, the true self, as sometimes some persons would describe, outside of labels.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because a lot of times, for me, in my experience, we could define ourselves in labels, whether it be our job, whether it be the things we do, but when you kind of go within, all of that falls away.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I've been challenging others in regards to introduce yourself without telling me what you do. Because most of the time when people say, oh, my name is so, I am whatever, and they describe the job title, they really don't get that whole connection of, I am a multidimensional being, or whatever the case is. Or even if you describe your personality, it still differentiates between who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a big difference. And from doing this conversation, I realized that there aren't a lot of people who could make that clear distinction, between who they are and things. So from your bio, I know you're saying you're R&B,
Yeah.
and then I just discovered something interesting on me, because not everybody is familiar with the musical dialect.
Yeah.
Right? So when I looked and I saw this name, Monica
Sesame.
Sesame.
Yeah.
So I thought it was two names, but
Mm-hmm,
you just
mm-hmm.
educated me. So tell them about this whole. Anybody ever heard the word Monica?
Yeah, so some persons will
Am I
say
pronouncing it right?
Monica. Yeah.
Monica.
Yeah,
Right.
so some persons would use the industry language sometimes. So like sometimes it will pop up like, what's your moniker, what's your stage name, what's your AKA even.
Right.
So it's like that name that you go by when you present yourself on stage. And then for some persons, it's like that name you go by when you just present yourself to the world. Some persons have that kind of alter ego as well.
Right. Yes.
So
yes.
it
yes.
kind of steps in within that realm.
So I have to figure out what my moniker is.
Yeah.
Is it just in relation to the music industry, or is it a term that is general?
It could be used generally, yeah.
It could be used
Yeah,
general.
general.
Oh, I kind of actually like it because honestly, I've never seen this word before. I thought it was a name.
Got you.
Right. So earlier we were talking about, yes, please write it in the comments. And a little bit later, I'm going to check to see who the winner is.
I really do
Hi,
want to
Karen. Hello, my beautiful sister. Welcome. The Bahamas is here. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us in the Beauty Empowerment Zone. So, Sesame.
Yes, Sesame.
So, how did you come up with the name Sesame?
Sesame is Moses backward.
Right.
Yes. And what's interesting, because before that, like my YouTube channel is the language of Musa.
Right.
So a lot of friends would usually say, you have a funny way of speaking, or you have a funny way of describing
the
certain
language
things.
of Musa?
Yeah, the language of Musa.
Musa?
Yeah, Musa.
M-O...
M-U-S-A.
M-U-S-A.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So, which is also Moses. I think definitively supposed to be Moses in Arabic.
Ah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So the language of Moses.
Right,
So,
yes.
so it defines the way I write, it defines the way I speak, it defines the way I express myself, the way I interpret music, the things that I'm just interested in, just my language, my way of being.
Right.
And the switch up, so to speak, with regard to Sesame, and why I picked it in that way, and it's so definite now.
Right.
Because my full name is Moses Babb. But
Right.
now it's just, for me, it's like I present myself as Sesame.
Right.
It's very definitive.
Yeah.
Because I've been on that journey where you definitely just dive within. Whatever may be the catalyst, for me it was going through a period of what someone would describe as depression.
Right.
That dark period in your life where everything is falling apart, life isn't making sense, you're no longer finding joy, you're no longer finding happiness in things external and outside of self, and you're like, what is really happening?
Is that what they refer to as the dark night?
The dark night of the soul.
So you were literally in a state of awakening.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Because I know depression is one of the symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you elevate yourself out of that? And how long did you stay there? Because I remember experiencing, and it's like I couldn't understand it, and it lasted for a long time.
Yeah, it could last sometimes
years.
years.
Yes, for me it was years.
And
I'm still crawling out of it.
Yep. Because what I define as my awakening period, looking back, it was incrementally happening even before that. And I was unaware.
Yes. Because nobody teaches us these things,
no,
you know?
no one.
It's something we have to discover on our own. So where did you, your spiritual journey, where did it start? Where did it all start?
It started, as I said, like for me, just reaching rock bottom from the aspect of, I just felt this yearning, I think it would have been in 2018, to go with the flow and leave my job.
Right.
So I wasn't resisting what was happening in the workplace.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm going to leave. I don't know what's on the horizon. And I remember the day before, I was at the highway waiting for a maxi. And I had this panic attack, freaked out. I'm like, what am I going to do in 5 years? What am I going to do in 10 years? Like this full review of life. And I was like panicking. When I got into the maxi, peace, calm. I was like, I don't need to know this.
Yeah.
I don't need to figure this out.
Yes.
This is handled. Because I wasn't in control of me manifesting here on earth in the first place.
Exactly, exactly.
So this is handled.
And that's a powerful revelation.
Yeah.
You know, but prior to that, did you had any kind of spiritual foundation? Like, because for me, back from as long as I can remember, going to Sunday school was part of the thing. So I think my foundation came from Christianity, and then eventually I evolved. So that's why I'm asking you the question: is like, did you have a spiritual foundation before? Because it's a difference.
Yeah, it's a difference.
It's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference.
I mean, I discovered that it really is a difference. So what was that transition like for you?
I would say, in terms of growing up at home, I would have grown up under the Christian religion. So my mom identifies as Christian, my dad identifies as Christian in that regard, and I would say his past self. Because he too now is on his own spiritual journey, which is really interesting.
That is awesome.
It's really interesting to see, because no longer do I interact with him just from the standpoint of father son. It's like kindred spirit. We're on this journey together, and it's like, okay.
That is so amazing.
So we would have gone to church, but it never really resonated with me.
Yes, trust me, I understand how that is.
One thing that I do appreciate about my mom, she wasn't the parent, you have to go to church. There were times she would say, like, come on, go to church. But when she realized that wasn't flying with her kids, she left it.
Right.
She left it, and she stood in her power, in her truth, from what she identifies with, and being, you know, that example in the home.
Right.
You know, being that presence, being that love. And, you know, at times, yes, she would reference the Bible and such, because that, you know, that's what she knows.
Exactly.
And a lot of times as well, what I want to say to that, no part is wrong.
Exactly. Here, this is not cutting you, but this is how I put it. Up to today, I was thinking about it and say, you know what? God, in His infinite wisdom, I may offend a lot of people here, but at the risk of saying what I know, based on what I was guided to, God, in His infinite wisdom, will never give humanity just one way.
One way, yeah.
Never, ever, ever. And then when that thought came to mind, what happened right after was the story in the Bible when they were building the tower. You remember when they get a certain point, how He confused them, everybody started to speak a different language. And I realized that is because if we're all together on the same thing, it's going to cause a lot of confusion. That's why we have to break it up. And everybody is not the same. So, I mean, that's just my little piece. To go ahead.
I totally understand it. Because interestingly as well, through my journey, you would reflect on different religions, different experiences.
Right.
And I remember, you know, just meditating, and I just asked myself the question, like, what is the purpose of man? What is the purpose of mankind? Humanity. You know, like, why did, you know, from the Bible standpoint, God create Adam and Eve? You know,
what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, that's what I say from the Bible standpoint. But you know, what is the point of this infinite intelligence?
Right.
You know, this greater being. You know, the all, the totality, the absolute. What is the point of the absolute creating something? And for me, my recognition is that it's to have an experience through us.
Exactly. Yes.
It's to experience itself through us. You know, when we look at humanity, when we look at everything as a whole, as a oneness, it is that reflection of source, so to speak, asking itself, who am I?
Yes.
So from the question, who am I, all things are manifest.
Right.
And for me, when I ask myself that question as well, it deeply resonates, because when I intuitively get to the answer, I recognize who am I by what I recognize I am not.
Exactly. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for me, I recognize I am peace.
Yes.
I am love.
Yes.
I am acceptance.
Yes.
Because all of those other things don't resonate within. The deep within doesn't resonate. So that's what I align to. And for me, that's the purpose of mankind. You know, God created us to have that experience, and we go through that awakening the same way, you know, of asking that question, who are we?
Yes.
And we get back to grace.
Yes.
We get back to that place of unconditional love, of recognizing, no, I don't want to say that mean thing. And it's no longer, do I want to not say that mean thing because I'm trying to control the situation, or I'm trying to manipulate this person, or I'm pretending to be nice. No, that doesn't resonate anymore with me.
Yes.
And a lot of times we get confused. And why I say the mean thing, sometimes you can say something without the energy of being mean. And you could say something, because sometimes friends would crack a joke and you know your friend is saying it in a loving way. But they could say the same thing and you'll be like, wait a second, you being mean. You feel that. You feel that difference in energy. It's a different vibration.
Yes, definitely it's a vibration.
Yeah. So, like I remember telling a friend recently, I pictured it was like God creating a painting. He created earth, he just created. And he said to himself, or she said to himself, because I don't look at it as gender.
Yes, me neither.
I don't look at it as gender. So, you know, Source said to itself, all right, that creation is good.
Yes.
I'll go over there and I'll create. But Source still wanted to be present in that spot, that, you know, spot which it created. So it created other things to witness.
Yes.
It created other things to experience.
Right.
The birds, the flowers, the plants, mankind.
And you know what resonates when you just say that? Because I was looking at something and they talk about human beings, how we are, it's almost like we're never satisfied, but we're not supposed to be satisfied because we are creators.
We are creators.
We create this. If there's like, for the people who are goal oriented, at the end of 5 years I want to do X, Y, Z, A, B, C. At the end of that 5 years and you accomplish everything, it doesn't mean that you can just think you want to create again.
Create
so that's
again,
a natural innate part of who we are. And you just, what you just said, it just like, feel it.
Yep.
You know. So my other, because for me, I recognize it was a series of things that happened that got me to that stage. But for me, what I think pushed me over the edge was a book that I read. What about you? Did you have that that revelation as well?
In terms of like books, when I had that kind of breakdown, like, you know, what is life, what is happening, I sought, from my perspective, healing.
Right.
So I saw different modalities from the standpoint of plant medicine, and as some persons will say, like magic mushrooms, you know, psychedelics, and
you indulge in psychedelics?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
It was a huge, for me, like, whoa.
I've never gone there.
No, it was a whoa, because like magic mushrooms, it gives you that whole experience. And some persons as well go to plant medicine in terms of ayahuasca.
Right.
You know, it's along those
I read about
lines.
it, and I heard a bit other people's perspective.
And what was really interesting for me, especially at this point, while it offered a glimpse on the other side, it wasn't a fix.
It never is.
And it never is, because the fix, so to speak, the shift is the work that we have to do of going within.
Yes.
Because we can, that attachment that we have to things external, as you said, we will never be satisfied.
Exactly.
When we attach to outcomes, we attach to anything external of self. And that shift for me, after the, just having that catalyst and that breakdown, I just experienced peace. That was like, okay, the egoic mind, the thoughts, the voices that say I am not worthy, I am the witness of that.
Yes.
I'm the one witnessing those words flashing by, that voice.
Yes.
And it was that realization, if I can witness it, it's not me.
Yes. And you can change the narrative anytime.
At any time. And with that realization, just a flood of peace.
And that is the most powerful.
And it's beyond, you know, words to describe it. And then you kind of just recognize and you just melt into that. Some persons describe as the oneness.
Yes.
You feel that unconditional love. You feel that the neighbor's
It's
person.
everything.
It's everything. Oh, the neighbor, yeah, good morning to you too. Neighbor having a bad day. You remembered when you were on the other side, having a bad day.
Yes. And you realize as well, there's nothing, don't take it personal, because 100% of the times it's not even about you.
It's not even about you.
Yes, greetings Abigail, welcome to all of you who are joining us. I'm speaking with Moses Babb, and we're getting real deep. I hope you guys, so do share any questions or comments. In a little bit I'm going to get in so that we can be involved. Like, I want to involve you guys. It's not just, I'm really getting, because it's, let me tell you, when I'm sitting here, I'm really into. So, but I always have to remember to engage my audience as well. So I want to go back to that period when you were going through the, I would call it a dark night. Because you know something, I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I honestly don't like to admit depression. You know, but I recognize that it's a phase.
Yeah.
You know, and depend on how conscious you are about it, because I know for sure, if you're going through depression, when you wake up in the morning, don't stay in bed. Go take a cold shower. Right? So what I want to ask you is, you know, I want to give someone else an insight to what, not necessarily what it's like, because it's going to be different from everybody. But when you are there, how do you rise up? What are 2 or 3 things that you would have done to make sure that you don't stay in there and then you learn your lessons as you go along? Because it's all about recognizing that everything is happening through us and not to us.
To us, yeah.
So, and it's an opportunity for us to grow through the different stages of life. So what was that transition like for you?
The transition for me, the first time like I experienced what I would describe, you know, we would describe as depression, I had gotten accepted into Berkeley School of Music. And I couldn't source the funds to go. I was seeing other people getting through, getting the funds to go, and I was like, what about me? What's happening here? So that was my first like real experience with it. I went through a period I didn't want to come out of bed. My best friend was the only person who would, you know, Moses, get up and drink some water. Okay, Moses, you have 5 minutes to stay in bed, but after 5 minutes you have to get up and drink some water. And I remember the conversation with him, and I remembered saying, I know there's something valuable in this. There's something to learn, there's something to gain, because why am I like plummeting? There must be something on the ground for me to pick up. And for me, it was that shift in terms of seeing the value in the experience. I had this kind of like this understanding that I am going to gain something from this. I'm going to take away something. There's going to be this knowing. And with respect to the experience with Berkeley, I remember one morning I got up and I was like, okay, but Berkeley's a building though. There are many other artists, musicians who never went to school to learn music. And I was like, the building is not important. What's important is your desire in terms of what you wanted to go there to learn. And okay, that door is closed, but why are you allowing that to be a stop to what you want to learn?
Oh my gosh.
And I went on the website, pulled up the curriculum, and I jotted it down in my book. And I was like, well, if I'm not going to learn it there, I'm going to learn it somewhere. And I scoured the internet to match everything according to the curriculum, and I developed my own, and I said, well, this is my curriculum, and I'm going to learn it. And that was my journey now with music. I took it by the reins. I was like, this is my journey now. It may not be there, but this is my journey.
I could relate to that, you know. Let me tell you real quick. I mean, this is really a conversation for us to exchange ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You just described exactly what I felt too, because I remember I felt it felt as though I just stumbled upon makeup. I didn't want to be a makeup artist. That wasn't my thing. And when I just went to do makeup for myself, and then she's like, "Do you know you have a natural flair for makeup?" And when I realized that I really did have something, I started out. I just developed this desire. I want to
Yeah.
go to the U.S. I want to go here. I want to go study. I send applications to the School of Complexions in Canada.
Yeah.
I get everything, and then my thing broke. Went to my father and I said, "Hey, what? I have X amount of money saved. How about if you help me with the rest?" The man look at me and say, "You better pray you win the blinking lotto." I kid you not. And it felt as though every door was
closing.
But
Yeah.
here was the amazing thing. Everything that I learned today came right here to me.
Yes, yeah. Yep.
So while you're going through that state, oh, I can't get in because of this, and you're depressed and you're allowing yourself, Spirit must be just watching you and say, "Look at this child.
Look, yeah.
Look at this child."
And when you're in that state, you're not even realizing, as someone described it through the law of attraction, you're resisting. When you're in that energy, woe is me. You step out of gratefulness. Why can't?
And that. Let me tell you, the embassy have an account, probably put an account in my name how much time I went to get a visa. You know? But here's the thing. The first time I worked with an international Tyra Banks' makeup artist, somebody called me and said, "Oh, Paula, I want you to come to Barbados and Barbados Fashion Week, but you'll be working on this guy, Valente Fraser. He does Tyra Banks." I said, "What?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, the job is not a paying job," so I don't care. Once y'all do my airfare, I will find some way to stay. And he looked at me and was like, "Oh my God, I love the way you do skin." And that, I mean, listening to your story just remind me of that entire experience. And I know God have bigger things in store for us, and the timing is all about timing.
Yeah.
And there was a season when I went through like, oh my gosh, I wish I was younger, and I realized age don't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You know
what I kind of recognize for myself as well. God. Sometimes He wants us to go about a mission, so to speak. As some would describe, you have a purpose.
Right.
He wants you to do something. And I realize most times the infinite wisdom, that is the source of all things, it really just wants you to experience.
Exactly.
But we are in this state of, I have to do it this way.
Yes.
We are in this state of seeking, and we miss the train and that alignment in knowing.
Yes, and then here's the other. Yes, so we have this thing where, because our journey is not conventional.
Yeah.
Because remember, we're not academic.
Yeah.
Inclined, and then you're surrounded by all these people who are talking about, oh, you have to have goals, and you have to have this, and you have to have that, and you have to have your plan and whatever. So with us, our journey towards what we have to accomplish is non-conventional.
Non-conventional, yeah.
Because sometimes, I remember, if I had planned my life, it wouldn't be how it is.
How it is, yeah.
Everything that I've experienced evolved, sometimes without even me. And then I realized there was a season when I tried, so okay, I have to do X, Y, Z. And I'm trying to do it on my own, block,
yeah.
This is not how this is gonna go. I'm in control. You just have to follow the path.
Yeah, trust the process.
Trust the process.
Trust the process. Yes, they say trust the process.
So that is a big thing. So what can we say to other people, because who are like us, but it's frustrated because they're surrounded by these academics? Because I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what I was born to do. I mean, I know that there is also more.
Yeah.
And then there was a season when I had my friends who saying, "Well, P, why you don't do something else?" I mean, find a regular job, like, And even that, I did pursue that, but it just did not happen for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for us to use our experience to encourage someone else. What would you say to that person?
observe a baby, observe children.
Mm.
They have no attachment to outcome. A child wants to learn something, they don't project themselves to the future, the future label of I am defined by being able to do this. They are just stuck in the curiosity, the enjoyment of the process, the learning.
Yeah.
So I would say focus on the enjoyment first, because it's a process to get from A to B.
Right. But it's also like a level of consciousness that you have to develop, because a lot of times it's not the destination.
Not the,
it's
yeah,
the journey.
it's the journey. Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, for me, it's like, be curious. Go at it from the standpoint of enjoyment. Go at it from the standpoint of, I want to discover.
Yes, discover the
Discover.
world. Yeah.
Because it's through the discovery that you learn what you are supposed to learn. You know, what is unique to your experience, what is unique to your journey. Like, I remember, like, even reading a story with respect to Prince. Prince, at one point, he asked himself, like, what am I going to do? I think he went through, like, the phone book, looked at all the different jobs, and he was like, none of this resonates with me. And then he was like, well, I want to be a musician that resonates. And he went on that process of simply learning music on his own.
Yes. And look at how amazing he was.
Yeah, because our journey is unique to us.
Exactly.
And it's not defined in totality by, you know, these conventions in terms of academia, you know, school. You could know things, you could learn things, you know, through different ways.
Yes.
And for persons who are on that path, it stems from that place of, you know, giving yourself that grace, that period of self-reflection, carving out that time, you know, to block out those external influences, to really identify with what resonates with you, why it resonates. And a lot of times you find those insights that are, it doesn't even come from outside, it arises from within.
Within, yes, for real.
Yeah.
I get a lot of my revelation in the water.
Yeah, I love the water.
Yeah.
Love
like
the water.
When I'm taking a shower or whatever. And I could, if it's up to me, I would live by the beach.
Yes.
You know? So I know now you describe in your bio that you sent me that you're now doing the class, mental health is your thing. And so what I want us to do now is shed some light on it, because I don't know much about mental health. What I know is this: our mind is very fragile. And all it takes is for us to feed one thought. And feed it in a negative way. And you could plummet. It's like you could scare the daylights out of yourself by just your thoughts.
Just your thoughts, yeah.
Yeah. So what is the whole from a male perspective, from a young male perspective, how do we help others in regards to guarding the mental health? I don't know if there's such a thing as guarding or being aware of their mental health. Shed some light on that.
I would say for me as well, from the male perspective,
Yeah.
and I'm speaking to men out there,
Yeah.
we grew up in a world, in a society that conditioned us to be unattached to our emotions. Don't feel.
Yes.
Don't cry. You know, boys are not supposed to cry. You know, you have to be macho, you have to be manly. And in comparison to the feminine template, we are not in tune with our emotions at all.
Yes.
Which for me is our first hurdle.
Yeah.
Like, women have that leg up, we just off the train track completely. And men need to be aware of that first doorway. Because ultimately, we are not our thoughts, we are not our emotions.
Right.
But you can't arrive to that door if you don't even recognize that you have emotions.
Yes.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, if you are not in that state of just simply allowing yourself to feel whatever is arising, it may be anger, It may be sadness. But if you're resisting, no, no, that's not me, that's girly. You're not even allowing yourself to feel it, for it to pass through you. And you build up that resistance and you further build up the actual emotion within you. And you're so unattached, you become so unaware. No, this got me angry. This made me sad. I don't want to be that. You know, you're so wrapped up in what you don't want to be. You're not recognizing you're actually becoming that. You're becoming the angry person. You're becoming the sad person. And you then react on autopilot from an unconscious space.
And as you say that, here's the thing that came to mind. Do you think that is the thing that causes us to have so much, what's the word I want to use? We have this almost like an attack on women. You know, do you think that is one of the reasons? Because we have men who are walking around with all these unresolved emotions. But some of them would have come from the mothers. You know, because you were doing psychology, and I did a year, 2 years of psychology, and I learned about attachment. You know, insecure attachment. It's something that affects a person way into their adulthood. If they had that, if they didn't have that solid foundation, you know, and I think it's a taboo subject because a lot of us don't have these conversations about the contribution that women make. I mean, I don't even know if it's fair to say that somebody else causes somebody else to be in a place of, you know, that disruptive kind of energy. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Because psychologically, people respond to things differently. You know, so I would love for you to, because I mean, you're the one who's in it, and I would really love to hear what your perspective is.
My perspective thus far, women can be participatory, but right now in the collective, it is still not women's fault.
Yes, definitely, it's nobody's fault.
Because they are participatory under the patriarchy as victims. Because we live in a world where there is this hatred towards women. There is just this, I don't know how to describe it, disrespect. You know, you're not honoring the very same mother that you come from. It's like, you know, some men act like you just dropped from the sky. Like, whether or not you had a relationship with your mom, you came from a woman in this world. Whether or not your relationship with your mom is a good one, outside of the relationship, for me, it's about just simply honoring how you got here. It's about honoring how you got here. And in my own journey, there were a lot of times where I felt like, you know, I had to blame my mother for certain things. And going through my own healing process, I think a lot of men just need to step up to the mantle with respect to themselves.
That's where it starts.
It starts there in recognizing my healing is on me. A lot of men don't want to do the work.
For real.
They don't want to.
And the work is important.
They turn towards other women in relationships, expecting women to heal them. That healing can only happen within and you doing the work.
And you have to recognize.
And it comes from, again, while you may not want to attach to the emotion, just being able to be aware of it, for me, is that first step. And when you're able to like witness from that standpoint, like personally, I recall, like, you know, thinking so many different things about my mom, thinking so many different things about my sister, and then when you step out of that illusion, that misconception of the mind, of the thought, of the corrupted thought, so to speak. Because I usually would say, it's like as though you have this troubled friend in your mind. When you get to that point of observation, there is this voice that says, yeah, man, you could do that. And tomorrow, no, you can't do it. No, don't. You're not worthy. That's not for you. So I say it's that troubled friend who's not really a friend.
Yes, 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 yes.
They're tipsy-turvy, they're topsy-turvy. And it's just recognizing that voice now and realizing, okay, I am not the thought. And I could witness the emotion arise. And as I could witness, I could recognize, one, it's fleeting.
Yeah.
It's fleeting.
And it's not true.
And it's not true.
Because I read somewhere recently, there's a meme that says, don't believe everything you think.
Don't believe everything you think, and don't believe everything you feel is the truth.
Yes.
Because I could have a thought, like I could describe sometimes how it happens. I could have a thought right now. Paula said that. Paula meant this. I feel this way because Paula said that. I could be angry, I could be a host of things, and all the while, Paula said what she said, not meaning anything that I thought it was, and I probably missed all of the insight.
Yes.
I probably missed where Paula was leading me to. You understand? Because I ascribed this different meaning, this different narrative to it.
Yes.
And when we get to that recognition, okay, Paula said X and Y, or whomever it may be in your life, and I ask myself the question, so what? That keeps me in check.
Yes.
Someone says X and Y,
Yes.
so what? That's their opinion.
Right.
Whether it be factual from their standpoint, it still doesn't define me.
Yes.
Because I am the person defining me in my being.
Yes.
So even if, as I examine it, there's some truth, in that very same examining, I could flip the script.
Anytime.
Yes. Anytime.
Right. And I want to pick your brain about something before we go on, because I am a mother. My son is 29, soon to be 13. And I went through this period, it's like I almost felt like he hated me. So what is that about? And then I'm going to tell you this. I mean, I understand now that it's a transition that boys make into men, and it don't have anything to do with us mothers. Because I had a conversation with Yvonne Popwell.
Yes.
And she was saying it's like a part of their transformation. So I would love, I mean, if it's not too personal, I would love to get some insight as to what goes on in your psyche during that period that will kind of cause you to lash out at your mom.
Yeah.
You know, so share please if you don't mind. This is Karen. Well,
I think like how I look at it in terms of examining my own experience. It was experiencing this attachment to this thought. I'm unworthy. I'm unlovable. So many uns.
Yeah.
So many uns. And when I'm having that relationship with my mom, you know, through that mindset, I'm in this space of seeking. I'm seeking her love. I'm seeking her affection. But I'm not aware of all of these limiting beliefs already in the mind. All of these uns.
Right.
So in the seeking, I have these uns as a barrier. So she is giving affection. She's giving love. I can't see it.
Wow.
I have these uns.
Yes.
That I entered into the space with.
That
I was not conscious of.
Wow.
And when I became conscious of all those uns, I remembered like legit apologizing to my mom at one point, because the love that I wanted to feel first and foremost was the love within myself.
Okay. So it really had nothing to do with her.
It had nothing to do with her.
Yes.
And when I reconnected with that love, me, I entered into the space with her being love, and both of us exchanging that genuine energy.
Yeah.
Because when I connected back to that essence of, yeah, I am love.
And even though she would have been saying it or doing things, it just...
There was this blur.
I guess that's exactly what it is with my son. Because how could you be like this with me, and I've literally given you everything.
There was this blur, and I remember at one point, like breaking down, because the shock of the misconception was so much for me. I was like, hold up. You just was interacting with your mom in a lie?
Yes.
Like
yes,
you
yes.
built this whole lie about what you believe, that she believes that she doesn't love you, she doesn't this, and I'm like,
So you're constantly trying to prove yourself when your mother nothing. Because that's like I always tell my son, I say, honey, you're winning my eyes.
yeah.
You don't have to prove nothing to me. And when I realized that, you know what, this is your stuff.
Yours, yeah.
So I said to him, I said, you're gonna suck me into your drama.
Yeah.
I said, when you figure yourself out, I'm right here.
Yeah.
And every now and then I send a little message, oh, your mom loves you, just reminding you that you're my angel, or whatever the case is. And then when I met Yvonne, then she literally put the icing on the cake, because she said she has, I think it's her sister-in-law, who's a psychologist, and she says it has nothing to do with you.
Nothing.
Because it's just a natural part of the journey with some men, you know, when they're from boys to man kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you will just go through this period where you feel that they literally hate you.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you.
And what I recognize as well, some men don't recognize, and I had to recognize it within my own self. You grew up with your mom as a caregiver.
Yeah.
You grew up with your mom as the nurturer. And I think this is important for men to recognize, and for many people to recognize. In the world, we have the template, the masculine template, the feminine template.
Right.
For me, it is so for a reason.
Yeah.
They balance each other out. There's a yin and yang. You know, we enter into this dualistic environment.
Right.
So what the masculine template embodies, it's to share with the feminine.
Right.
And what the feminine embodies is to share with the masculine.
Right.
And with respect to the relationship with sons and mothers, we go through a phase where you want to have your independence.
Ah, okay.
And through that journey of independence, in creeps in the mind fear. Because all you've known is your mom being the nurturer.
Right.
That essence of love.
Right.
So you're stepping away from that which you perceive is just the full embodiment of love, without recognizing your mom has filled you up with love over all of these years as a reminder that you are love.
Right.
But we step away from our mothers from the perception of lack.
Yes.
So I'm stepping away from love, so it must mean I am not love. So we go through this period like, don't want to leave my mother. We become angry with how we feel because we're now feeling, I'm not lovable. I want to leave. This whole contrast without recognizing your independence is fine.
Yeah.
But in your stepping away, your mom is not going anywhere.
Yes.
The relationship is not going anywhere. You understand? The connection to your mom is not going anywhere. And more importantly, when we step away with the true understanding that I have been filled over all of these years, I have been reaffirmed and confirmed through her love that I am love. She birthed love into this world. You can step away in that confidence.
Yes, yes, yes.
In your being. So you remove that fear, and then you're able to recognize, yeah, I am love.
Yeah. So I think for us though, in my relationship with my son, it was I couldn't understand why he is caught up in the circle that he's in, because it was I figure it was the first time that we've been apart for over a year.
Yeah.
Because he moved to the US and I haven't seen my son in almost 11 years.
Oh wow, okay.
And he could travel. I was like, you don't have no desire to come spend time with him, you know, but I allow him to be. But I understand now the confusion and the conflict that he was going through. So what what can we say to first a mother who's going through that experience and a son who's going through the transition from your perspective?
From my perspective, let me see.
Speak to the son and then speak to the mother.
I'll definitely remind the mother, it's really not you. That's as short and simple as it is. And in those moments where you may feel as though it is you, you are enough, you've done enough.
Yes.
everything that we do it as enough.
As enough, yes, yeah.
Because whether you learn something tomorrow, when you do it now, you didn't know it then.
Exactly.
So what you do now is enough.
Yes. So, and before you go on, what I could add to that, because this is the one thing that helped me through it, recognizing that I am just a vessel. I was just a vessel.
Yes.
I did my part. I kept him safe. I gave him enough love, and I showed him what love supposed to feel like, to look like, and I've given him everything. So he's not mine to keep. So I was like, you know what, God, I let this child go. You watch over, guide, and protect him, and you just direct his path. And I released him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we had fights. We had like really bad fights to the point that I would have said at one point to say, you know what, if you choose not to talk to me again, I have enough memories to last me a lifetime. And when I let that go, I allow him to do his thing, transition and thing, and then he make a full circle. You know, because then the same thing with Yvonne. She said with her son, he made a full circle, and it's like he checks in on her every day, and you know, make sure that she's okay. But my son and I are not there yet. But I know eventually because we were so close. And it really is confusing to figure out what the hell happened. What did I do? You know.
How I would describe it as well is this, because this is what is coming to me now. In your life, there were times when something was revealed to you, or a lesson, so to speak, came around full circle, and you got that insight. And the insight was so jarring, you'll be like, wow, nobody could have told me this. For me, it's the same experience with respect to mothers and sons.
Right.
As a parent, as a mother, you have your child in the classroom, but there's a period where they have to do their homework. And they have to go home to do that work. They have to be on their own to do that work. And a lot of times, some mothers, you experience the first year, they shelter, they want to keep the child in the class. No, don't leave the classroom. Don't leave the classroom. Like, that was my mother to an extent as well. And I remember being angry with her. My mother did her best, but she would shelter. And I remember being angry, like, no, I want to go do this, I want to go get a job, I want to go do this. And then I was like, no, she's trying to keep, you know, her protect. That's what she knows. That's what she knows to do. And when I got to that realization, I was able to just come back from that place of love. Mommy, I understand, and I thank you for keeping me safe all of these years. But through you, I got this now. So I was able to instill that confidence back into her. So mothers have to allow their children, their sons especially, to do the homework. And don't get wrapped up, as you say, when the child is frustrated with the homework and they're calling you and being upset about the homework. Because a lot of times that's what it is. We know that we have to do this on our own, but we want somebody to blame. We want somebody to lash out to. But we know that this homework is ours. And a lot of the answers that I came to, a lot of the realizations I came to, my mom, my dad, they couldn't give it to me. That was my journey, that was my homework. I had to go home, and as I said before, like, that journey was within, you know, that journey was, you know, figuring things out on my own, getting back to that deep level of intuition. So I think that full circle comes about where after they've done the homework, they feel good. Mommy!
I think that's what it is. So don't forget to, the second part of the question is speaking to the male, to the boy.
And what I would say, be honest. Be honest with self. Be honest with self. Be honest with self. A lot of times we have this knowing that we have to, and I don't even want to say separate, but we have to just step away. Whether it be whatever, you know, shape or form your journey takes. You have to step away from, whether it be your mother, your father. You have to step away from all external influences. To get to that knowing within yourself. To get to those deep insights on your own journey within yourself. And be honest in that stepping away, because a lot of times we know we have to,
Right.
but we still want somebody to blame. We
Yes.
wanna act out and be like, well, my mom pushed me away. Be honest.
Yeah.
You know you need that space.
Yes.
You
yes,
know
yes.
you need that time.
And you choose.
And you chose.
Yes.
So hold yourself accountable in that honesty.
Right.
And settle into the journey.
Yes.
It's going to be shorter.
Right, for real. Because the more you fight it,
the more you fight it, the longer it's and the more
be.
painful it's going to be.
Yes.
Be
Young
honest.
men, if you're watching, this is it. Be honest.
Be honest, because there are things that you and in that honesty as well, you are definitely able to attach and connect to your parents in a different way.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So you have this sum, as I would describe it. Whatever you're going through in life, you're able to relate to your mom, not from the just mother and son. You come from the space of honesty.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm really confused about this.
Yeah.
Mom, this is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And the insight that pours now is completely different.
Yes, 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 yes.
Because to me now, the parental relationship changes. Because now your parents see you and see the reflection of themselves.
Exactly.
And they pour into you in a different way. They pour into, that past self of, when they were on that journey.
Yes.
And they now say the things to you that they needed to hear, that are exactly what you need to hear. That is completely different from a parent just telling you what to do.
Exactly.
It comes from a free
Yes,
place.
true boy.
And the relationship is different, and as I said, for men, once you're honest, the journey becomes shorter.
So for the men who feel that, showing their emotions is a sign of weakness, let's talk to them.
For real. Because I paused because we as men are really conditioned in this. It's a bad setup.
It's a real bad setup.
It's a bad setup. And the emotions are there for a reason. The emotions arise for a reason. It's high time we get to that place of not resisting, as some would say, the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
A lot of men are living life with this big elephant in the room.
Right.
They want to act as though, no, I don't have emotions.
Yeah.
Let's get to that place of honesty.
Yeah.
You're experiencing an emotion.
Exactly.
Full stop.
Yes. And most instances, the woman in your life not even judging you.
Yeah,
because let me tell you something. For me, I think it's really sexy when a man can get really naked with everything about himself, not just his physical body. And that's the thing that is missing in a lot of relationships. So there is no the level of intimacy that you could experience, especially for a woman like me who's enlightened and I mean, maybe I'm not fully awake yet, but I am awake enough to know that I don't do shallow. And if you are at that place where you trust yourself enough, because at the end of the day, I could judge you with words, but I can't do anything to you that will change who you are at your essence. So it really is unfortunate in some instances because you have all these people who are hurting, and hurt people hurt other people. So I'm so happy that you were able to shed that big bright light.
What I want to add to what you were saying there, in terms of women wanting men to be open and to have that intimacy. There are some men that have tried that. They may have been in the wrong relationship.
And the woman make them feel
more insecure. So they become shut down. It happens.
So speak to the ladies and let them know how important it is.
Yeah.
They have to do the work on themselves.
They have
to be
to
able to receive a man like that in the first place.
In the first place.
Yes.
Because
tell them.
we, in the masculine and feminine template, it's high time, guys, we stop playing this game. We have to stop playing this game with the universe, with source, with God, with whomever you may deem as the authority in your life or a higher power.
Yeah.
We have to stop playing this simple game of when life presents something that you want, we want to act like, no, me not want it.
Yeah.
We need to be honest about that. We need to be honest that this is what, in this moment, I desire.
Yeah.
And from that place, I believe that we will stop this cycle of hurt.
Yeah.
For the women who are perpetuating that cycle of hurt where men want to be vulnerable with them, women, be honest. You want that level of intimacy.
Yes.
You want it. So when it's presented to you, don't
Honor
resist it. Honor it.
Yes.
Because in the resisting now, you are further creating that cycle.
Another cycle. Yeah.
And more importantly as well, to the men who may have experienced, you know, those instances where you've opened up to someone, you've opened up to a woman, and you felt judged, you felt shunned, you felt belittled for having no emotions. First, find that intimate place with yourself.
Exactly.
Just honoring your own emotions in the first place, respecting, loving that intimate place with you.
Right.
You stand in your masculine power, the same way the feminine template can stand in hers.
In hers, yes.
And once you stand in your masculine power in that intuitive way, what the other person says, what the woman says, that has nothing to do with me.
Exactly.
I secure in my vulnerability.
Yeah, but you have to do the work.
But you have to do the work.
Yeah.
You have to do the work.
It's important to do the work.
Yeah.
This is just so amazing. I'm so happy that I'm talking to you. I'm not sure even how long we've been here. But what I'm going to do is kind of like pause. I'm going to read some of the comments. Tracy Charles, welcome. Tracy, all the way from New York.
Hi,
we are
Tracy.
just a vessel for our kids. Just let it be, because the more we fight, the worse it gets. So that is so true. Welcome, Erla. Pleasant evening to you. I'm so happy that you're here. Gloria says, we are trustees for these children, so we don't own them. That is so true. And don't forget, there's a prize given away if anybody could guess this young man's age correctly. Once you're not his friend, you can come and get your brows done. All right. Welcome, Jennifer. Jennifer is in all the way in Atlanta. What a wise young man. He really, really is. And somebody, Karen Wells says, Point Moses. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what time it is. Blessings to you, Paul and guests.
Hi.
Yeah, this is Karen, my sister. If
Karen.
If God reveals our journey to us, we would mess it up, because we would want to take a shortcut. That is so true.
Yeah.
So there are no shortcuts.
We will step in and be like, we shouldn't do it so, I want to do it this way.
Yes. But thank God, you know what I equated to? I equated to, it's like using your GPS or using Waze, right? Because up to today, I think it's Christine. You know Christine, right? Yeah. Christine Lopez that we both follow.
Yes.
She was saying it's like a GPS, and even if you make a wrong turn, it has a way of recalibrating and putting you back on track. You might just get to your destination a little bit later. I think the conversation, I didn't watch the whole thing. I started out and then I got distracted. I said, you know, I'm going to do this later. And I think it will have to do with your timelines. Get into your timeline, a short-term timeline or a long-term timeline kind of thing. Yes, so I am going to assume that it's like we've been here for a while, even though it doesn't feel
it doesn't feel like that.
I'm really enjoying this conversation. There's one thing that I wanted you to clarify. I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. What the hell is neuro-linguistic programming?
So neuro-linguistic programming is...
Sorry to put it like that. What the hell is that? Neuro-linguistic programming. What's that?
In a nutshell, it's a modality related to psychology in some ways that seeks to get to the subconscious.
Okay. Well, when I hear the word neuro, I figure it's something to do with the brain, the way you think.
Yeah. So it's usually done from the standpoint of inducing someone into a trance state.
Right.
And it's interesting that you spoke about timelines before. It's inducing someone into a trance state so that the ego kind of breaks down. They get to that place where they can access their subconscious and unravel what is happening there.
Yes.
But from a conscious place as well,
Right.
but in a trance state, so they could go back to traumatic points in their life
Right.
and re-examine it without the attachment to the trauma.
Right.
So they could experience their insights.
Okay.
And it shortens the time with respect to some persons in terms of like talk therapy, because it immediately takes the person back to, you know, to trauma.
Right.
And brings them back to the present moment, and it just kind of just shortens that healing time for some persons.
Right. So it's almost like, is it transformational therapy?
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
So it's very similar.
Similar.
And what exactly is art therapy?
Art therapy is the modality within psychology where talk therapy doesn't work for many persons. The sitting and talking, sometimes again their mind, their ego gets in the way. But when we're creating, a lot of that falls away.
Right.
A lot of persons also cannot even speak about their traumas, cannot even speak about things they've experienced, and they can only do so through song, through painting,
Right.
through any expressive means in
Right.
the art form,
Right.
and then you analyze it from there. You look at it from there. So it's a safe zone for a lot of persons, because some persons they can't talk about things, they can't talk about the way they feel, but they could draw a painting.
Right.
And when you ask them to talk about the painting now, they're talking about how they feel.
Got you. But that makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
right? But where can people go to tap into these things? Because to me, I don't know, maybe I'm the one who's unaware, because I observe all these issues that people have in society, and how does somebody get help to access art therapy or even the neuro-linguistic programming therapy or whatever it is? I don't know if you're saying it right.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure
there are
like how many neuro-linguistic practitioners we have like in Trinidad or in the Caribbean per se, but we definitely have resources with respect to mental health.
Yes.
And even if you think talk therapy is not for you, you can go to a psychiatrist, you can go to a psychologist, and you can just simply have that discussion.
Right. But for the people who don't have the financial means to go see a therapist, how do they I'm seeing people guessing, somebody say 30, somebody say 29, 25. So y'all keep guessing. Let's see who gets it by the end of it. So if anybody have the time, give me a time check, because I don't have my timer with me. Yeah. So for the people who don't have access to the finances to go see a therapist, what else can you suggest? Because I remember back in the day, I was introduced to a group. They referred to it as co-counseling. So it's the same thing like talk therapy, but the difference was it was an exchange. So if we come together and we have 30 minutes, we split the time up in half. So you speak for 30 minutes, I speak for 30, and that's 15 minutes, we speak for 15 minutes. At the end of it, there is no questions asked, nothing. But in a group setting, what they used to do, of course, they have the head of the group who will recognize when somebody is in a place where they need to release, and they may ask certain questions. So you could hit a pillow, you could scream in a pillow, so you could literally let out all your frustration. And I don't remember the name of the person who invented that therapy, but he says it's a big thing around the world. They have all these conferences, and he believes that a lot of people want attention. And if you could sit and you could give someone your attention by just listening without judgment or without even wanting to know why you did that, it is such a helpful way to help them to release.
Yeah.
So I share that to say, what else is there that is available to people who don't have the resources to go to like a therapist or something?
A simple thing is journaling.
Ooh, 648, wow.
Yeah, simple thing is, having a journal. Meditation has been really helpful for me.
But for some people who don't know how to meditate, because I don't even know if I have the meditation thing down yet.
What is what is your concept of meditation? I'll ask that. Like, what do you know?
I honestly believe it's just getting quiet and being conscious of what I think or my thoughts, and being conscious of what I feel in that moment.
In that moment.
And not being attached to anything
Yeah.
that happened in that moment. And I believe in terms of I don't even have to be sitting still. I can walk and meditate.
Yeah.
So
Because meditation is just that state of awareness. That's bottom line that, you know,
okay,
what
so
it
then I
boils
got
down
it
to.
right.
Yeah. Sometimes we think you have to be sitting down, you have to be zen, you have to be lying down, there have to be quiet music. And a lot of times as well too, especially in the Caribbean, we think meditation is the silencing of the mind.
Yeah, so you can never
silence the mind.
Yeah.
You may have moments where it's completely quiet,
Yeah.
and then you will go like, oh, it's quiet, mind again.
Yeah.
So there's a simple like technique in terms of, it's called like the do nothing meditation. You could even look it up on YouTube. Many persons, you know, talk about it, but it's simple in its format.
Right.
You sit, you stand, you lie down, you look at a wall, you do nothing.
And you know what I've done recently? I am so grateful that I live in a space that have out back a yard. And I would just press something there and just lay down, watch the sky, watch the birds soaring around.
Yeah.
I even got a visit from a special butterfly and one of those things, you know. So it really, let me tell you something. You have to come back and sit and chat with me again. So I'm going to make a date with you sometime next month, because it's 6:48 and I want to start wrapping up. So I'm going to dive right in and ask you, what are you most grateful for?
I'm grateful for my journey. Definitely grateful for my journey, and I'm grateful for all the support I've had in my life. All the support.
You're really blessed, because when I start talking, people think I
No,
I definitely don't have a lot of people around me that I could ask questions and exchange ideas, and you know, even my partners be like, "You too deep. You way too deep for me." I said, "Trust me, you're no different from me, because if you were, I would not have been with you." They say, "You're exactly who I am." So my next question that I like to ask everybody, because it's such a profound experience to just observe all these different perspectives on the same question. What is your superpower, and how do you use it to influence the people who are closest to you?
I'll say my intuition.
Intuition?
Yeah. I'm able to connect with friends, with family from that intuitive space.
Right.
Some crazy metaphysical experiences
just
with some
like
friends.
Me, you had today. Because let us share real quick. I'm going to tell you what happened on my part, and he will tell you what happened on his part. So I'm sitting here, I'm doing stuff for me, and I want to go through what I'm thinking, make sure I get my mind right. And I had just happened to look at the time, and it's exactly 5:17. I was like, okay, why is he not here? I wonder if he's outside and maybe he can't make a phone call. And I walked outside the same time he was trying to figure out which building. So you tell them what happened.
What happened? I arrived into Port of Spain. I attempted to get a credit on the phone. Didn't. Got to the building. I remember you said the grey one. Stood outside. I was like, okay, it's the grey. I'm not seeing any bell. Pulled out my phone. I was like, okay, I can't call Paula. So I was like, okay, don't, stress.
What time was it?
And when I went to the corner, I pulled out the phone again. It was 5:17.
You see?
And when I pulled out the phone, I said, okay, well, I don't have credit on this phone, but I'm going to connect. And I just said, Paula. And as I turned around, you were there by the door.
That is how powerful connection is, you know?
We all have that, sixth sense. Some, persons is more developed than others, but we all have that intuitive connection with everything around us and with persons in our lives.
And that's another thing we could go real deep in, but because of time, I know we have to wrap up. So, and this section is I refer to it as first things first. So I'm gonna just share, say a word or a phrase, and you just share the first thing that comes to mind, right? And the first word is spirituality.
presence.
Your life's journey thus far.
Life's journey thus far. Entertaining.
I love it because I can understand. I could so relate. Your future.
Marvelous.
Love.
I am.
Relationships.
Self.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you definitely need to give me a little bit more.
Then why I said self?
Yeah.
That relationship with yourself, all of the branches, once it's from that healthy, conscious, aware state, all of the branches are enjoyable after that.
You see why you need to
Yeah.
expand? That is
All
powerful.
of the branches are enjoyable after that.
Yeah. Your best advice receives up to this stage.
Best advice. Not to take life so seriously.
I've heard that one too.
Yeah, not to take life so seriously.
Yeah. Pursuing purpose.
Aligning to just being me.
Okay.
Yeah, and the reason I say that, there's nothing specifically we have to do in life other just than be present in our truest state.
Yeah.
Peace, love, and acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, once we arrive at the door in that vibration, everything falls into place.
So all the rest is literally icing
On the cake.
All the material wealth that we think is the thing that makes us
we need
successful.
and we want.
Yeah. Yeah, that is real deep. I definitely gonna go home and drink something and soak this all in again. My next one is the best advice you can give to a younger you.
To a younger me.
Yes. To a younger version of yourself.
You're not separate, you're not different. Your journey may appear that way.
Yeah, yeah.
But don't get wrapped up in that mind telling you that, you know, you're wrong for how you view life, for the things you're interested in. Yeah.
No, just be.
Just be.
And just be true to you.
Yep.
And honor what you feel at all times. Yes. And I'm reading Jennifer's comment. Jennifer said, whatever his age, he is wise beyond it. And that is so true. So just have a few more. Your music.
Woo! It's being reinvented, and it's now at that place where it's true.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll give us a little something or closing up? A little something. And just taste it before. Did I ask you about pursuing purpose?
Yeah.
Okay, so then the final one is family.
Family. I'm enjoying family, but you want one word?
No, you can give more than one word. It's, you know, it's okay.
Family right now is healing. Family right now is safe.
Yeah.
A lot of times we look at the homes that we were brought up in, and we may perceive brokenness, we may perceive hurt, but that outward reflection sometimes is just a reflection of what's within.
Yeah.
Once you begin that journey, so many things change around you.
Yeah.
Because you interact with everyone differently.
Yeah.
The cycle ends with you whenever
Okay.
you want it to.
Yeah. And you know, speaking of family, within my own family, I recently, I'm not sure recently as in now, but not recently as in last week, but maybe a little while back, I recently, it just dawned on me that I have the perfect family. Because my parents are such awesome people. And I mean, I didn't see that when I was younger. I used to clash a lot with my father. You know, and I it's like I'm at that place where I know he's an amazing human being, and so is my mother. And I could not have asked for a better family because they just allowed me to be. They gave me the support that I needed to come to another country because I mean I'm not from here. They don't make me feel guilty because I'm not there. You know, and I think that's so amazing because there's so many people who don't have that.
Yeah, and for me as well, the realization that I had, everyone around you is on a journey. They're on their journey.
Oh yeah.
Your parents included.
Yeah, they do the best that they
They're
can.
doing the best that they can.
Yeah, because my father's favorite thing used to be, oh, y'all have it easy. And I was like, you have to do this, I have to do that, blah, 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 whatever the case is, you know. But I mean, I am grateful for my journey too, because it really helped me to see how everybody was just doing the best that
doing
they
the best
could.
they could, yeah.
You know, so I am so grateful that I had this conversation with you.
I am as well.
I feel really blessed. I hope everybody out there, you guys enjoyed our chat. I will definitely invite you again,
Yes.
because I know there's so,
So
much
many things.
more.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed talking to you, because I feel like I finally could connect with somebody who's like right here,
Yeah.
who's going through it.
And you know what's interesting? I've had you as a friend on Facebook for many years. I don't know if you recognize that. We've been friends on Facebook for a long, long time. And within my journey, I just started to realize, hold up, Paula posting from a different place. And I connected with you on that level. And I was like, okay, I'll message Paula and I'll send this type of energy to Paula. And it just confirmed when you replied back. And that's how everything, you know, just came to be.
Yeah, I think I was definitely all, because I think if I have to go back to a timeline when I started my whole conscious awakening situation, it was way back in probably 1995, 96 there, because I know that I was different. I could feel it.
Feel it, yeah.
You know, and even with church, and I grew up in church, and I did the whole baptized thing and all that stuff. It was like I just felt totally out of place.
Yeah, out of place with
and then for me, a friend of mine was migrating, and she was throwing out books. And I picked out this book, All the Garbage, The Greatest Miracle in the World, by Babb. And that book was like my catalyst.
Yeah.
You know. So Gloria, thank you for staying. Enjoy your meditation. Gloria goes to meditation at 7.
Yes.
I am so grateful.
Happy meditating.
I am so. I apologize for keeping you guys so long, but as you can see, and as you can feel, and as you can connect, this wasn't a conversation that would have been done in an hour, right? So I don't know. I'm not gonna force you. I don't know if you wanna give them a little taste of your voice.
Next.
You could just say.
Okay, what can I sing?
Anything.
Usually on the spot,
something that will bless them up for the rest of the day. So what I'm going to do is, here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to say my thank yous and my goodbyes and how much I appreciate and how much I love you guys. And I wish you the most amazing rest of the week. I want you guys to continue to be safe. Continue to be kind to yourself. Continue to love upon yourself. And if you haven't said anything positive to yourself today, before you go to bed, stand in the mirror and just say, I am amazing. I'm so beautiful and good thing. You know, so love upon yourself. I'm going to let Moses close us out. You see, hear that.
Cause I'm amazing. Gonna love upon myself. Oh, cause I know. Yes, I know. Please don't forget, cause you know you're amazing.
You're awesome.
I love.
You're fabulous. Thank you so very, very
Thank you
much.
so much, Paula.
Okay, guys, have a good one.
Bye,
Bless
everyone.
up. Take care. Bye.